Hi again. Sorry about that. This is the handling of the cards, which I didn't talk about in the long-asked video that I just did. So, quick word on the handling of them. Obviously, I showed you a few dribbles. Just to show you a couple of pharaohs, so you can see how well these cards pharaoh for somebody who doesn't pharaoh very well. Bit of a bulky one there, but these pharaohed really nicely out of the box. Now I have got a major problem with those Royal Reserve cards I talked about last time. I couldn't pharaoh them myself, and there you go, look, really nice pharaoh. Stock, they're not thick, they're not crushed, they're not super thin, but they're nice and soft. You know, there's nothing that I dislike about that cards at all. And the finish on them, I'd heard it's a particular finish that David Blaine uses himself, so when you get them out of the box they're not super slippy, but they feel the same pretty much as they did 8 months ago when I got them. They're a relatively thin card. They're a bit thicker than the Royal Reserves, but they're definitely a bit thinner than the Blue Crown green deck that I'll be doing in a while. But they just feel lovely. Now obviously handling is very subjective, and the only way you'll know what they'll feel like is getting a deck. Sold a deck to somebody recently. I told him what the handling was like, and I think his favourite deck is Monarchs. A guy called Sebastian, he bought a pack off eBay off me on my recommendation, and thankfully he really liked them. This deck I keep in the car. I've barely touched them, and I say, you know, they're a bit warped because they're in the car. We don't live in a humid area in the UK, but I've just pulled them out of the car just to show you. And on one point about keeping cards in the car, they're not in the sun. They're in one of the little compartments between the seats, so they still handle really well. I've got a deck of cards here, which is also in the same compartment, next to these cards, and this is a magic deck of cards. Look, ta-da! And for my next trick, I'm going to glue with cards together. That is bizarre. I'm going to do a review on these at some point in the future. Not knocking them as such, but just be careful. Some of your cards might not last particularly in the car. You can see I've used these relatively regularly. But these, in exactly the same place in the car, and they still fan absolutely perfectly. So, bit of a shorter video, guys. I hope that gives you a bit more insight about the handling and the quality of them. Cheers for now.